Honestly, you can choose whatever you want when it comes to making beats.
Any DAW is pretty much the same.
But when you're recording or mixing vocals,
nothing
comes close to this DAW. Let's go check it out together, my friend. Jorge Lanzasing now. We break it down, baby. Alright, my friend, thank you so much for being here once again in another video. And today we have a hot topic. The battle of the DAWs is something that happens almost every single day in social media. I don't think a day goes by without me seeing at least 1 or 2 posts. Logic is the best DAW ever. You crazy, dude. Ableton is the best DAW ever. You guys are playing. FL is the best. Are you guys kidding me? Don't you guys enjoy plugging cables and stuff like that? Reason is the best. When we all know that the best one is the one that you choose
and that you stick with.
Except when it comes to recording and mixing vocals. And in the first part of this video, we're going to be talking about something that is a little bit more subjective, if you will. Kind of very neat features that match my preferences. But then, my friend, I'm going to talk about the one reason why no other DAW could ever dethrone the king of DAWs. But before that, I'd be super curious to know which is your DAW of preference and why you like it more than anything else. So go on to the comment section and let me know. And while you're there, remember to like, subscribe, and do all those cool little things I would like to do on YouTube. And enjoy this little sonora, my friend. I hope your day keeps getting better and better and better. All right, let's go. So let's stop the talking, get to the rocking, and check this DAW. So here we are in Pro Tools, my friend, the king of DAWs. Not only because it's one of the OGs, but honestly, you find Pro Tools almost in every studio in the planet. So it's basically speaking English. If you know Pro Tools, chances are you can work almost anywhere in the world without even having to carry your computer or anything like that. Most professional studios are gonna have Pro Tools. And that's what most people will tell you. But stick around and I will tell you the real reason why Pro Tools is the standard. And this is the reason
that no YouTuber tells you.
But whatever, let's just get to the subject of this day, which is the best DAW for vocal recording and mixing. I want to start by saying that all DAWs are pretty much the same. They all do pretty much the exact same thing, so it's very hard for you to choose which is the best one. And I know there's a lot of esoteric people talking about one sounds better than the other, and maybe my ears are not refined enough. But whatever, none of that matters. What matters is that I'm going to show you a couple reasons why maybe you want to be using Pro Tools when you're recording vocals or mixing vocals. The first big reason is that when you're using Pro Tools and you record, there's something called
playlists.
Maybe an easier term to recognize would be takes. Playlist is basically how many takes you have. And if we go right here in this session for my song 1000 Bottles, you see that right here I have my lead vocal, and you can see that I have several different colors. And yes, I do like painting, but that's not the reason. The reason is because when I come right here and choose playlist, you can see that there's different playlists that we can call takes from which I built my comp in the end. Right, the parts that I like more from one take or the other. Basically, I went through all my playlists and chose the little parts that I like more than the others. Cherry picked, if you will. And you can just imagine the power that you have right here, because if you can read a waveform, which in this day and age I think is very easy, and we all pretty much have grown with these computers, and waveforms are so good that just taking a quick look, you can pretty much know where you are. And you know where little phrases start and end, so it's very easy for you to granularly go even deeper than I went. You can go little parts of a word and just choose the intention creatively of what you want. Not just because, oh, this part I nailed it and this part I didn't. Hopefully you're nailing all your takes, but you're choosing the little nuances that make your take more expressive and that makes everything sound more like you and less like anybody else. So playlists are a huge, powerful tool. And honestly, making a playlist is so easy like this. And let's say I select this take right here. Don't judge me too much. There's a reason why there was a comp and this is not it. But let's hear, for example, what happens in verse 2. So if we go right here, you can see that we have that little speaker right here that lets you know which playlist it's selected and which playlist you're listening to. That's why you have a speaker. So let's just hear how quick and easy it is for us to just listen to a different playlist.
Can't blame it on the money, I don't know if they were always like this. But the richer they are, the weirder they seem to get. Living large in Little St. James, in Miami, huge mansions in LA, then raided by the FBI. They had 9 private jets, they had all their secrets in videotapes. Yeah, when Diddy was departed,
Anyway, and that's how easy it is to audition different parts of a playlist. And then how easy it is to build it. Well, nothing. You just go right here and you select the part that you like. You hit that arrow. Then you do the next. Hit that arrow. Then you build this next section, you put that arrow, but you like this ending, you do this, that arrow, and all of a sudden you have a playlist that is the take that you comped. Let's just hear how this sounds. I bet you it's going to be terrible. Anyway, you get the point. Playlist allows you to select the part of the take that you really like, keep it, and just delete the rest. But if you really want to go back to it, you can always go back to this menu and hit playlist, waveform, back and forth as many times as you like.
And that is pretty sweet.
Let's check out the second super useful thing that makes Pro Tools pretty unique. Let's say we go back to my original comp, but let's say different parts of the song sound differently and we need to manipulate them in a different way. Pro Tools allows you to add effects in one particular region of that take. Let's see what I'm talking about. Let's consolidate this track. And let's say, let's go again to our verse 2. And let's say, for example, I feel like in the beginning of the verse, I need a little bit more compression or a little bit more EQ. But I don't want to go through the hassle of automating everything. You know what I mean? In Pro Tools, what I would do is just like select the region. In this case, I would hit B just to like cut the clip and make sure that Pro Tools is only reading that part of the clip. And by holding option 6, you get that little menu here in the bottom, which you can see is basically a channel strip that gives you the opportunity to manipulate an input trim, your polarity, EQ, high and low pass filters. Then you have a dynamic section with expander, gate, compression, limiter. You even have a sidechain matrix in case you want to feed something into this section, just in this particular
clip
that wouldn't affect anything else in your session. So let's say I just want to do like a cut, like right here. I don't know, maybe I want to go super extreme to like 400 Hertz. And then I want to cut, I don't know, maybe like 8K. Then maybe I want to use a lot of compression. And let's hear how that would sound.
Can't blame it on the money, I don't know if they were always like this. But the richer they are, the weirder they seem to get. Word. Can't blame it on the money, I don't know if they were always like this. But the richer they are, the weirder they seem to get.
And as you can notice, in the clip, now you have this legend that says dynamic and EQ. But if I select this other one, there's nothing. So Pro Tools basically has an underlying channel strip that you can use on the way into all your plugins. Let's call it a pre-prep channel strip. So let's say if we were mixing and you were to have a very convoluted gain structure where a lot of your compression is depending on how much low end you're pushing and all that, and you don't want to have to waste a slot here in your Pro Tools mixer, or you simply want to do some processing that you don't want to have to ever see again, you just go right here to your clips, do the changes you need. For example, like you would like ride the faders just to make sure that you're hitting compression the way you like. Just consider this like a much more involved version of that, where you're preparing your files to be exactly what you need before you hit your first plugin. And to me, my friend, that is pretty sweet. And if you're really enjoying the video, please make sure that you hit that like button and that you subscribe, because I'm really trying to get to 10K this year. And it may not look like I'm going to make it, but a man can dream, right? So make sure that you like and subscribe. Okay, so now that we're talking about manipulating particular regions of a clip, let me tell you that we're just scratching the surface, because in Pro Tools, you can do way more. Let me take you one step further. If just a regular channel strip was not enough for you and you really needed more stuff, let's say something that is maybe more creative and not just like an EQ or like a compression kind of decision, but let's say maybe you want a tape saturator with a little bit of slapback feeding into it before, but you don't want to have to use a plugin. You just want to liberate your computer from that processing power. That's where you have Audio Suite. So let's say in the same example where we already have this clip effects, we go right here to our menu in the top where it says Audio Suite. And as you can see, available to us, it's pretty much every single plugin that you have. The only restriction would be if the developer didn't care to have a version for Audio Suite for Pro Tools, because I assume maybe that's a different kind of protocol they have to write the code about or whatever. But let's say, like I was saying, you're trying to get a little bit more creative. And let's say I go to Waves and I want to use my Kramer tape in mono because we have a mono file. And I want to have, let's say, a slap, maybe 50-50. Like, I don't know, maybe 150 milliseconds with a nice low pass. That's cool. All that is cool. Let's hear it.
Can't blame it on the money, I don't know if they were always like this. But the richer they are, the weirder they seem to get. Can't blame it on the money, I don't know if they were always like this. But the richer they are, the weirder they seem to get.
So let's say we're happy with the way that sounds. Well, then you just come right here and you render it. And just like that, all the effects that we put into that clip are applied to that section of the song. Let's just hear how it sounds.
Of course you're not invited, no. Can't
wonder if it would have been better if I would have just done that in parallel. But whatever, we're not questioning production decisions. I just wanted to show you Audio Suite. But now, my friend, you that stayed here all this time after all these mumbo jumbo, you really want to know the secret to Pro Tools. And I'm gonna tell you the real reason why Pro Tools is the industry standard, and right now there's no other DAW in sight ready to take its place. And if you notice, most people that act like Pro Tools is gonna ever be dethroned are people that don't use Pro Tools. The secret about Pro Tools is that Pro Tools is not just a software. Pro Tools is a hardware accelerated software. So with Pro Tools, you will have something that you will never have with any other DAW, which is the ability to record vocals latency free, close to zero latency, with a bunch of plugins on. Any competent engineer that knows what they're doing, they would choose the right plugins with the right protocols and the right settings in Pro Tools so that you can have the sound that you want right there in the moment while you're cutting your vocals. You don't have to wait for that guy to go mix it or anything. Reverb, you got it. Delay, you got it. Limiting, compression, 1176, pretty much anything you could ever want in your vocal, you have it right there, real time, no latency. And that is something no other DAW can do. And I'm telling you, my friend, for that reason, until there's zero latency like that in any other native DAW, nobody will dethrone Pro Tools. All right, let's go get a few conclusions. I got too serious. So there you go, my friend. 3 little reasons why I consider Pro Tools has a little bit of an edge when it comes to cutting vocals and mixing. Cutting vocals is like a slang term for recording. And I know probably in your DAW, there's a few functions like this that you really enjoy. So I would love to hear them all in the comment section down below. And if you really stayed all the way till this moment, please let me know that you did by typing HDX in the comment section down below, letting me know that you now know the secret why Pro Tools in reality is the industry standard and nobody is gonna take it away from it. But of course, you know that we're talking within reason, and it all depends on what you're doing. Because today we're talking about vocals, recording, and mixing. But maybe if you're making beats, that would be a whole different story. And let me know, of course, in the comment section down below if you want me to tell you what is the best DAW for making beats. But whatever, my friend, that's enough for today. There's nothing else for me to say, and a lot for me to read you in the comment section down below. So remember, go comment, and while you're there, remember to like, subscribe if you can financially support me. Smash that super thanks button. I thank you so much. And if you have some more time to watch another video, go watch this one right here, my friend. I'll be waiting for you right there. Right, see you soon.